in Shavasana. And as we make our way into Shavasana, just taking a deep inhale through your nose. And exhaling it all out, let it all go. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Exhale it all out, let it all go. Letting your body begin to settle into the mats. Letting your mind begin to calm. Letting the day slow down. Taking time to check in with yourself. Notice how you're feeling. Notice how your body's feeling. Taking a few moments to scan from the top of your head to the soles of your feet. And notice if there's any areas where you're carrying tension. Any areas that might be a little bit sore or a little bit stiff from something you did earlier today or this week. And sending your breath to those areas, letting your breath bring a little bit of relief to anything that might be sore. Bringing ease to anything that might be tense. Softening anything that might be a little bit tight or a little bit stiff. Letting your body settle a little bit more into the mat. And taking note of any thoughts that might be rising up. Gently acknowledging them. Letting them continue to pass by. Drawing your attention back to your breath. Back to your inhales. And you're taking a few moments this evening to set an intention for the class. Something you wish to receive from your practice. And on the next inhale, slowly begin to wiggle your fingers. Gently moving your toes. Then on the next inhale, begin to draw those knees into your chest and giving them a gentle squeeze. And gently rocking a little bit of side to side. A little bit of forward and backwards. Circling your knees in one direction. Circling your knees in the opposite direction. Then open your arms up into a T and let your knees gently fall to the right side, coming into a twist. And adjusting the knees, whether you draw them closer to your chest or you soften that knee bend. Keeping your left shoulder blade pressed into the mat. Maybe you slide a block underneath the knees for a little bit of support. Breathing into any sensations that you might be feeling. Letting your breath soften those areas. Letting your body find a little bit more rest. We'll take a couple more breaths here. Nice deep inhale. Nice deep exhale. One more inhale. One more exhale. Then on the next inhale, slowly begin to draw those knees back to center. As we let them gently fall over to the left side, keeping that right shoulder blade pressed into the mat. Adjusting your knees, whether you draw them closer to your chest or you soften that knee bend. Maybe you slide a block underneath the knees for some support. Breathing into the sensations you feel on this side. Letting your breath soften those areas. Finding a little bit more rest. We'll take one more breath in. One more breath out. Then on the next inhale, slowly begin to draw those knees back to center. And making our way into happy baby, grabbing the outside of those feet, open the knees nice and wide. And gently rocking a little bit of forward and backwards. A little bit of side to side. Then draw the knees back into your chest and let them sway from the left to the right. Gently letting your knees fall to the left side or to the right side, coming into fetal position. And we'll take a couple breaths here. Take a nice deep inhale. And a nice deep exhale. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. And then on the next inhale, slowly begin to press your way up and making your way to tabletop position. Very nice. So the first posture we're going to do is thread the needle. So we're going to start with our shoulders today. So plant that right hand into the mat. Reach that left hand up. So open it up to the left. And then on the exhale, scoop that left arm underneath the right. Releasing that left shoulder blade onto the mat. I mean your left shoulder, not your left shoulder blade. And keep breathing into that left shoulder. And the option, you can stay here, or maybe you reach that arm up and you take it to that left side. Adding a little bit more stretch to that shoulder. Keeping your breath nice and deep, nice and even. We'll take a few more breaths here. Two more. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Then begin to press into that right hand as you release out of this posture. And maybe gently giving that left arm a little bit of a shake. And then planting that left hand down. Inhale, reach that right arm up, open up to the right. And then exhale, draw that right arm underneath the left arm. Releasing that right shoulder onto the mat. Keep breathing into that shoulder. And the option's always available to take that left hand to your right hip, bringing a little bit of intensity. And taking note how this side feels different than the other side. Is this side a little bit more tender? Is it a little bit more relaxed? Take a couple more breaths here. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Then slowly begin to press into that left hand as we release out of this posture, maybe giving that right arm a little bit of a gentle shake. And then from here, we'll move into puppy pose or melted heart. So again, for our shoulders, so keeping our hips on top of our knees, begin to walk those hands out. And the option to always bend the elbows if it's a little bit too intense on the shoulders. Maybe your forehead rests on the mat. Maybe you draw your chin onto the mat. You can always open up the arms up as well, bending those elbows to release some of the tension in the shoulders. But keep sending your breath to the areas where you feel sensation. Allowing those shoulders to settle. We'll take a few more breaths here. And take a deep inhale here. And on the exhale, can you walk those fingertips out maybe a little bit further, challenging your edge. We have a couple more breaths here, breathing into those shoulders. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Very nice, and slowly begin to walk those hands up. And making our way into child's pose. So sitting back on our feet, rounding that spine, tucking your chin. You can draw your elbows to your knees, or you can always bring your hands to your feet. And if your forehead doesn't rest on the mat, you can always slide a pillow or a block underneath, just to try to remove tension from the neck. We'll take one more inhale here. One more exhale. Then slowly come back to tabletop position. And walk our hands out. We'll come into Sphinx pose, so lower all the way down onto your stomach. Drawing your elbows underneath your shoulders. Releasing tension from your legs. Allow those shoulders to soften. And if the intensity is a little bit too strong here, you can always walk those hands out, which will soften the curve of your spine. Keep breathing into any sensation that you might be feeling in your spine. Take a deep breath in here. And exhale, draw that chin to your chest, stretching out the back of the neck. Take a couple more breaths here. Inhale. Exhale, can you draw that chin a little bit closer? Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Then on the next inhale, begin to bring that right ear to your right shoulder. Take a couple more breaths here. Inhale. Can you draw your ear closer to your shoulder? Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Then on the next inhale, come back to center. And on that exhale, begin to make your way to your left shoulder. So that left ear drawing to your left shoulder. Take a few more breaths here. Inhale. Exhale, can you draw that ear a little bit closer to your shoulder? Two more breaths. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Then on the next inhale, drawing that chin back to neutral, back to center, and then lifting it up to neutral. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. So the option is to stay here in Sphinx pose, or maybe you make your way up to seal pose. So pressing into the palms of the hands, straightening those elbows. Trying to draw the shoulders back and down away from your ears. And if you're feeling mobile today, maybe you walk your hands up a little bit, challenging the edge of this posture. Keeping your breath. Keep drawing those shoulders down and away from your ears. Take a deep inhale. Exhale it all out. Take one more deep inhale. One more exhale. Very nice, and slowly begin to lower down. And drawing your hands together. And then letting your forehead rest on the top of your hands. Letting your spine settle. Allowing your shoulders to soften. We'll take a few more breaths here, allowing those shoulders to soften a little bit more. Letting your spine find a little bit more rest. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Then begin to draw the hands underneath the shoulders and make your way back up to tabletop position, nice and slow. So planting our hands, curling our toes, we'll send our hips up in our downward facing dog to set up for pigeon. And we'll go from pigeon today into deer pose. So we'll compound on that right hip. So on the next inhale, begin to send those knees up and then those hips back to your downward dog. And take a few moments here to pedal out the feet. So bend one knee, straighten the other. Repeat that on the other side. Bring your heels back to neutral. Inhale, fly that right leg high to the sky. Then draw that right knee to your right wrist and your right ankle to your left. Release those left toes. Inhale, walk your hands up to set those hips. And then on that exhale, begin to walk your hands out, coming into reclined pigeon. And so maybe you rest on your forearms. Maybe you're feeling mobile today and you can walk those hands out and let that chest drop closer to your leg, closer to the mat. You can always slide a block underneath your forehead. Trying to move tension from the neck. Removing any tension from that left leg. Keep breathing into that right hip. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale, can you walk those fingertips out a little bit further, challenging that edge. Letting that right hip settle a little bit more. And notice maybe if your mind has wandered or drifted. Drawing your attention back to your breath. Back to the posture. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Then on the next inhale, slowly begin to walk those hands up. Very nice. And then moving into deer pose. So begin to drop that right glute onto the mat as you bend that left leg. And again, you could always play with the depth of that bend in that left leg. But on the next inhale, draw those shoulders forward. Take a full breath in. And on the exhale, begin to walk those hands out. Maybe you come onto your forearms to start. Maybe you walk a little bit further out, allowing your chest to draw closer to your leg. Keep breathing into the sensations that you're feeling. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, can you walk your fingertips out a little bit further, challenging that edge. Allowing that chest to draw closer to that leg. On the next inhale, slowly begin to walk those hands up. Very nice. We'll take a full breath in here. And a full breath out. And then on the next inhale, begin to walk the hands over to the right to about a 45-degree angle. Take a breath in. And exhale, begin to walk your hands out. So coming into twisted deer. And maybe you stay on your hands and that's okay. Just keep breathing in to the sensations and notice where they might have changed. Breathing into those areas. Very nice. Take one more breath in. One more breath out. And then slowly begin to walk those hands up. And take a moment here to pause. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. And then on the next inhale, begin to bring the right leg forward as you swing that left leg. And we'll make our way into Shavasana. So lowering down onto our backs. Allow your palms to face up. Letting your body melt into the mat. Allowing that right hip to relax. Softening your shoulders. Take a few more breaths here, allowing that right hip to settle a little bit more. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. And then slowly draw those knees into your chest. And then let those knees fall over to the right side. Coming into fetal position. Pressing up to tabletop position. Nice and slow. As we make our way to the left side of pigeon, so planting those hands, curling the toes, send your knees up and your hips back to your downward facing dog. Pedal out those feet again, so bend one knee, straighten the other. Repeat that on the other side. Bring both heels back to neutral. Inhale, float that left leg high to the sky. Then draw that left knee to your left wrist, your left ankle to your right. Release those right toes. Inhale, walk your hands up to set the hips. And then exhale, begin to make your way down, reclined pigeon. Maybe you start on your forearms, or maybe you walk your hands all the way out. Trying to remove tension from that left leg. Keep breathing into that left hip. Take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, can you walk those fingertips out a little bit further, challenging that edge. Allowing that left hip to release a little bit more. Notice if there's any tension in that right leg. Take a couple more breaths here. Exhaling it all out. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Very nice. And slowly begin to walk those hands up. And making your way to deer pose. So sitting on that left hip. Bending that right knee. Drawing those shoulders forward. Take a full inhale. Then exhale, begin to walk those hands out. Maybe you start on your forearms, or maybe you walk out all the way. Keep breathing into the sensations that you're feeling. Taking note if they feel different than the other side. Do you need to adjust in any way to make it feel a little bit more comfortable, or to challenge yourself a little bit more? Take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, can you walk those fingertips out a little bit further, challenging that edge. Take a few more breaths here. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Then slowly begin to walk those hands up. And we'll take a full breath in and a full breath out. And on the next inhale, begin to walk those hands over to the left. So about 45 degrees, take a full inhale. And then exhale, begin to walk those hands out. So maybe you stay on your hands, maybe you come onto your forearms. Maybe you walk out and allow your chest to draw closer to the mat or to the floor. Keep breathing into the sensations. Letting your breath soften those areas. We have a few more breaths here. Nice deep inhale. Exhale it all out. Two more. Nice deep inhale. Nice deep exhale. Last one. Full breath in. Exhale it all out. Then slowly begin to walk your hands up. And then from here, making your way to Shavasana. So drawing that right leg forward, left leg forward, and lowering all the way down onto our back. Allowing your palms to face up. Allowing that left hip to settle. Your shoulders to soften. And notice how this side feels as it begins to unwind or relax. Take a few more breaths here, letting that left hip rest a little bit more. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. And then slowly begin to draw those knees into your chest. And then letting your knees fall to the left side. And then on the next inhale, begin to press your way up to a seated position. And we're going to move into a nice forward fold. So having our feet out and our toes pointed, You can always slide a block or a cushion underneath those hips to lift them up and give you a little bit more mobility in your spine. You can have a little bend in the knees if you're tight in the hamstrings. But inhale, reach your hands up. Then exhale, reach and fold. Inhale, draw up that chest a little bit. And then exhale, can you walk those fingertips out a little bit further? Allowing your shoulders to settle. Removing tension from your neck. Breathing into that low spine. And with every exhale, allowing your chest to draw closer to your legs. We'll take a deep inhale here. Exhale, can you allow that body to draw closer to your legs? Letting those shoulders soften a little bit more. Keep breathing into the sensations. Couple more breaths here. Nice deep inhale. Exhale it all out. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Let it all go. Then slowly begin to roll up. As you plant your feet on the mat, lower all the way down onto your backs. And we'll make our way into supported bridge. So have a block or a cushion. Draw those heels as close to your glutes as possible. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Then on the next inhale, shift those hips up as you slide that block underneath your tailbone. And maybe you adjust it a little bit higher. And once you find that place, allowing those hips to settle into the block. Allow your palms to face up. Trying to remove tension from the shoulders. Softening your neck. And feel free to adjust the block if you need to. And taking note of any thoughts that might be rising up. Gently acknowledging them. Letting them continue to pass by. Drawing your attention back to your breath. Back to your inhales. And your exhales. We'll take one more breath in. One more breath out. Then on the next inhale, shift those hips up, sliding the block out from underneath, and then slowly lowering those hips down onto the mat. We'll take a full breath in and a full breath out. So our next posture is going to be waterfall, or if you want to come into snail or to plow pose, feel free. So if you come into waterfall, you want to draw the knees into your chest, shift the hips up, slide that block underneath your glutes, and straighten those legs. If you want to come into plow pose, draw the knees in, and then press into the hands as you roll up onto your shoulders. Trying to allow those feet to release to the floor. And if you're in plow, just trying to keep your breath nice and consistent. Nice and deep, even with that little bit of constriction. If you're in waterfall, just enjoying this very restorative pose. And if you're in plow, the option to always come out of it and into waterfall is available. We have a few more breaths here. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. And if you're in plow, begin to unroll out of it. If you're in waterfall, draw the knees into your chest, slide that block or cushion from out underneath, and draw those knees into your chest, giving them a nice big squeeze, gently rocking a little bit of side to side, a little bit of forward and backwards, circling your knees in one direction, circling your knees in the opposite direction. Then drawing those feet onto the mat. Inhale, shift your hips up and send them to the right side of the mat. Then pick up that right foot and cross it over your left. Open your arms up into a T and let that right knee drop down to the left side, coming into a twist. Keep pressing that right shoulder blade into the mat. Your eyes could fall over your right shoulder. Your left hand could rest on that right knee. Keep breathing into the sensations that you're feeling. Letting your body find rest in the twist. We'll take one more inhale. One more exhale. Then slowly begin to draw those knees back up to center. Releasing that right leg, squaring the hips. And then shift your hips to the left side of the mat. Pick up that left foot, cross it over the right. Open those arms up into a T and let that left knee drop down to the right side. Keeping your left shoulder blade pressed into the mat. Letting your eyes fall over that left shoulder. Your right hand could rest on top of that left knee. Breathing into any sensations. Letting your body find rest. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Then slowly begin to draw those knees back up to center. Release that left leg, square the hips. Draw the knees into your chest and then open up to happy baby. Grab the outside of those feet, open the knees nice and wide. Gently rocking a little bit of forward and backwards. A little bit of side to side. Then take a deep breath in. And on the next exhale, open up to Shavasana. Legs as wide as the mat, palms to face up. Letting your body melt into the mat. Taking this opportunity to let go. Letting your body find rest. Letting your mind find peace. Take a few moments to scan over your body and notice if you're carrying any tension anywhere. Breathing into those areas. Letting your breath dissolve any tension. Letting your body settle a little bit more. Taking note of any thoughts that might be rising up. Gently acknowledging them. Letting them continue to pass by. Drawing your attention back to your breath. Back to your inhales. And your exhales. Notice maybe if your mind has gotten distracted or wandered away. Drawing your attention back to your breath. Observing your inhales and your exhales. Letting your body find a little bit more rest. And as your body finds rest, letting it begin to reap the benefits from your practice this evening. The goodness from all the posture sinking deep into your body and into your mind. On the next inhale, slowly begin to wiggle those fingers. Gently moving your toes. Slowly waking up your body. Drawing your attention back to the room. On the next inhale, slowly begin to reach those arms up and overhead. Then taking one wrist in one hand and gently begin to pull it to one side of the room, feeling the stretch in that side body. Then release that wrist, grab the other wrist and gently begin to pull it to the opposite side. Release that wrist, reach your hands to the very back of the room and your feet to the very front. On the next inhale, take a full body stretch, breathe in. Exhale, let it all go. On the next inhale, slowly draw that right knee into your chest. Giving it a nice big hug, showing it some love. Gently adding a little bit of movement back. Then release that right leg, draw in that left knee. Giving it a nice big squeeze. Showing it some love. Gently adding a little bit of movement back. Draw that right knee back into your chest. Give them both a big squeeze. Gently rock a little bit of side to side. A little bit of forward and backwards. Maybe circling your knees in one direction. Circling your knees in the opposite direction. Then let your knees sway from the right to the left. Gently letting your knees fall to the right side or to the left side, coming into fetal position. Letting your head cradle into your arm. Offering breaths of gratitude. Grateful for your practice this evening, that you showed up on the mat. Taking time to connect with your breath and your body. Take a few moments to reflect on the intention you set at the beginning of practice. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Then on the next inhale, slowly begin to press your way up. Making your way to a seated position, keeping those eyes closed and drawing those hands to heart center when you arrive. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. On the next inhale, draw a gentle smile to your face. Exhale it all out. Take a few moments to thank your body for all the hard work it did today. I thank you and I'm very humbled by your practice. Namaste. Great job, everybody.
Thank you. Bye, guys. I have to check my food. I might be burning now.
Oh,
Bye.
bye.
Good night, guys.
See you guys.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, Mark. That was excellent. It's exactly what we needed.
Yeah.
We were
Yeah.
pooped.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, it's practice too to like just end the weekend, right? And start
yes.
start fresh on Monday.
No, it was good.
Sunday night's good. That'll be good for us.
Yeah, that was actually going to work out really well for us. Oh, I feel the tingle in my, you know how when you really stretch, you feel that? Yeah. I love that.
Oh, good.
I have a bobo on my knee.
Oh no.
I couldn't, when I lie down on my belly, it's kind of like a bad scrape, a really, really bad. So I've got a Band-Aid on it, but I couldn't, that kind of impeded my progress today.
Yeah.
I did too many dogs today.
Yeah.
Did we ever feel the downward dog? Oh my goodness. We were like, oh.
We're old, Mark.
But when you don't practice it, your body just totally goes back to how it was, right? It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, so good. So you're keeping well with all the skating and all the work and everything?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's nice. It's busy. So we're starting. So we did like September ice because they wanted to see what would happen with school. So they didn't want people to lock into. But now starting this week, it's till December, till Christmas. So yeah, it's going well. We haven't had any cases, and yeah, there's a couple kids that weren't able to come to skating because a classmate tested positive for COVID. And so some schools are requiring 14-day isolation. Other schools are requiring they can go get a COVID test. So,
which could take 14 days the way it sounds.
Well, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, people are driving, I think like at 3:00 in the morning to drive to Castleman so that they can have a COVID test at 6:00 or by 9 at least.
So here's the thing. Castleman is Eastern Counties,
Mm-hmm.
which is why now we're seeing more cases in Eastern Counties. We're getting a lot of folks, Winchester, same thing. People from South Ottawa coming to Winchester. And we've heard the same thing happening in Castleman and then into Alexandria even. Yeah.
But they're getting counted as Ottawa cases, right?
Pardon?
But they're getting counted as Ottawa cases. Like if they're coming from Ottawa to outside of their area to get tested, they're getting counted as a case in where they live.
Yep, but they're in line with symptoms, and we have Eastern Counties people in line who may not have, and then they contract. There's a big fear that now the community spread is happening actually at the testing centers.
Could happen.
That is crazy.
Isn't this great? So that's why now I really appreciate what Ford has done, and he's directing asymptomatic people to go to the pharmacies and symptomatic people to go to the testing centers, so that hopefully that will mitigate that issue. But that was a big, big, big concern in the last 2 weeks, Josh.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Is Cornwall, what's Cornwall like? When we went there was like 2 people in line, but that was months ago. What's it like now?
I don't think it's like that anymore.
No, and I have 3 staff right now who ended up waiting days for a test. And so they ended up calling Cornwall. They're going all over the place, just trying to. I had one staff, she had 4 phones on the go. And she had 4 members of her family just trying to call and hoping that it would be one of those, her phone would get the appointment. It's ridiculous trying to get an appointment right now.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and I think a lot of it's due to the schools, right? Because schools are like, kids are getting like runny nose. Well, at least now they're changing the protocol too. So like runny noses aren't necessarily runny noses. And if you have allergies, you have to have a doctor's note to say like you have allergies and like.
That's right. That's
not
right.
send you home, right? So.
it's what happens. So a child has a symptom. Okay, so the child gets sent home, but it's not just the child, it's the child's parents. So now they can't go to work. And then whomever else is connected with that little bubble. That's why the bubble is so important, right? So that's what's happened with us. One of our employees, her stepdaughter got sent home. Stepdaughter. So now she's got, it's her husband, or her husband, the mom, her husband, and the grandparents.
Extended family.
Like nobody can work now. They're all stuck waiting for a test, you know?
Oh.
Anyway. We'll figure it out at some point, I guess, but man, oh man.
Hey,
You
Josh.
know, there's a test that, it was a Canadian test that Health Canada hasn't approved yet. You know what the status is on that?
I don't.
Oh, you mean that quick test?
The quick
Yeah.
test, I know
Yeah.
Ford is on it like crazy. So we know that it's happening. We know it's evolving, but I don't have it's like 2 weeks or a week from now or something, but it's coming quickly.
Well, remember at the beginning, there was a company in Ottawa that was making, and we never heard any more after that, to the device to do a quick test.
There was a problem with that one.
Okay.
But out in BC, there was one, and that's where Ford went, wait a minute, why don't we have that? So they've been really actively pushing for that one.
Like results in hours or?
It's a quick, it's like a swab. So for children, it doesn't go up their noses. It's
Or when do you get the results back?
pretty quick.
Well, it's taking.
But that's the other problem, right? The lab technicians, they're swamped.
They got job security.
Well, that's the thing, like with the quick test would take the load off
That's right.
everything else. So like if you can screen and get an answer right away,
Right. That's right. You can just read the test yourself. You don't. So essentially, whoever's administering the test can tell you right away.
Whoever invented it, if you could get a result in minutes, they'd be rich.
Well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, anyway, everybody's okay though.
Yep.
Everybody's
Yep.
well.
Yeah.
Good.
yeah, I'm staying home, so.
Yeah.
I
Well,
have
and
put in, but there's hardly anyone in our office that are in.
well, that's my concern. They started having a lot of people go back to the office, and I actually had a chat with my boss and said, I think you're going to have to revisit that one.
Yeah.
I've told my guys, unless you absolutely need to be in the office, stay home.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's good, Josh. I think that's probably very wise right now.
Hey Josh, did you work out with Marilyn about taping other sessions, or did you do anything with that?
I did all the legwork. I did the testing, and ultimately, Marilyn has to be the one to decide.
Yep.
And she decided not to do it. I
Okay.
guess. That's Mark. Is there any other way to put it, or?
Yeah. I think I don't think it's feasible for her to do it. So that's why she didn't do it. So
That's to tape your Monday class, right, Mark?
yeah, so that was to do my Monday one. Yeah.
So we're not doing, okay.
No, because I don't think she's getting the numbers that she was expecting. So I think she's struggling with that as well. So
Well, that's hard. I mean, changes your business completely, right?
How many do you have on Monday, Mark?
at the moment only 4.
Oh, gee.
So it's a small class. So we're really spread out, but it's still I still don't enjoy it. I'm not a big fan of going to do yoga. Skating seems different to me than yoga. I don't know. I feel more comfortable with the skating because we can distance more. So, but with
You probably have gloves on, and yeah, right.
yeah. So, but it's going well though. I think her senior fit stuff is doing really well. The older people, they're really enjoying it. So.
You mean on site?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not surprised at all. If it were up to the seniors, they'd be gathering for cards, for crying out loud. We're having to remind them of the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Fun times, guys, fun times.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
surprised because, I mean, I would have thought that she would have got more numbers if, like, George and I would probably have signed up if she would have been able to work out with you to transmit the Monday class, but.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Right,
I
absolutely.
pay to do it. We could do it Monday night.
Yeah.
Watch you and, right? I do that. Yeah, for sure.
In a minute, yeah.
Anyway, I did as much as I could.
yeah.
Oh, that's cool, Josh.
Thank you.
All right, well, you guys have a good week, eh?
Yeah, you too, and I'll see you guys next Sunday at
Good.
6 p.m.
Yeah, Julia's gonna send you the money, okay, Mark?
Yeah, no worries. Thank you.
All right.
All right, have a
See you,
great
Josh. Take care, you guys.
You too, bye-bye.
week.
Bye.
Bye.